What's up? My name is Nick Clark, and I'm your host for today's episode of Play Hard and Love Big Radio. It's the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga SUP, based out of Folsom, California. You should join us for our retreat to Colorado in June of 2025. For more information on all the things we do, head to spotteddogyoga.com. This is one of the final episodes of season number 6. It has been an amazing episode, and we are growing fast thanks to you. And remember, please share this podcast with your friends and your family. Share it on your social profiles. Leave us ratings. It does help us grow our show and spread this amazing information and this amazing inspiration across the globe. Play Hard and Love Big Radio is dedicated to bringing you the inspirational people and their stories so that you connect to your center in hopes that you go out into the world and make a bigger and better difference. In this episode, I'm talking to two members of the Rescue Fire Department, Captain Brett Jones and Chief Bryan Ransdell. These two fellows are big-time supporters of Hearts for Heroes USA, which is an organization based out of Folsom, California, that is placing, training, and paying for therapy dogs to be in fire departments and police departments all over California and the United States. To learn more about them, go to Hearts for Heroes USA, and it's Hearts and then the number 4 Heroes USA.org. We'll start today's episode with Brett Jones, the captain of Rescue Fire Department, and then after that interview ends, it will just move into the interview with Chief Bryan Ransdell of Rescue Fire Department. Enjoy the show.
My name is Brett Jones. I'm a fire captain with Rescue Fire Department, and I'm the division chief of the PAW Platoon Placement Program.
All right, Captain Brett Jones. Hey, man. Pretty amazing that you've had the opportunity to learn to be a handler and to bring Ash into the firehouse and to the community. Can you talk about the overall experience from the start of this program to where you are right now, and what it's meant to you to be a part of this?
Yeah, started off with just kind of, I thought it would be cool to have a dog at the fire station. Signed up, got Ash, moved really quick, and then all of a sudden we're going to training a couple weeks later, Ash and I. And really, when I go to the training with the dog trainers, they're really training me. They're not training Ash. And then this has progressed into Ash and I go everywhere, go visit people at hospitals and dispatch centers and community events, just to be out in public and take her to see people.
You're a huge spokesperson for this, obviously, through your action. Why is it that you think that this is really an important program for first responders' mental health and also for a community who is constantly dealing with traumatic events?
I think this is a small piece of home that you can take with you to work. Especially in the fire department, we're gone for my regular shift's 48 hours, and people get sick or overtime happens. People want to take vacations. I may be there for 5, 6, 7 days, and then you get the big fires in California. Guys are gone for 3 weeks at a time. To be able to have a dog to just love on you and pet, it brings like a small piece of home and kind of helps you forget the stuff that's going on around you. Take a little break from life and just enjoy a dog.
Yeah, it's really good. And for the community, when people, you talked earlier about people that just come to the firehouse to see Ash, if they lost a loved one, or even like I've heard other people and yourself talk about how it just kind of opens the door for communication and creates community integrity with the firehouse and firefighters. How do you see this program impacting the way that first responders are taken care of from the community, but also how the community views firefighters and police, people in the service industry and first responder industry?
I think that probably the majority of people appreciate their first responders and what they do. They don't necessarily understand everything that we're going through all the time. but they want to be there to be able to support them. So I'll have some community members that'll come into the fire station. And they go, "Oh, cool, you have your dog at work." I go, "No, this is not my dog. This is the department's dog. She's here for therapy for the firefighters." And they go, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Tell me more about it." And so uh, having Ash there to be able to tell them about her kind of gives them a small glimpse into what our world is, even though they may not be able to actually experience it. But it's Ash is a good icebreaker for some people, especially with significant events that may happen with calls with other people. They don't want to talk, but all of a sudden, when you're petting a dog and somebody's standing there with you, they can go, "Tell me about Ash," and you tell them about her, and then other things start opening up. So it's a good icebreaker.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. For yourself personally, how do you prepare for mentally and to go on to shift?
For me personally, um, usually it's the day before, preparing to go to work. Eventually, no matter if you're new in the fire service, eventually it just becomes a job, and you want to be able to go to work and do the best that you can. So it kind of becomes second nature. You don't really think about it, but it's um, making sure that you're well hydrated the day before. You know what the weather's going to be, what the weather's going to look like. You're always watching KCRA to see what the weather's going to do, or checking your iPad to see what's going on. So it's preparing the day before to look uh, at the next 2 days or next 5 days, what you got to prepare for, either rain or lots of hot sun that's coming.
There's some of that coming.
Yeah.
And then after your shift, how do you like decompress? And I know it becomes probably more routine, but
Mhm.
do you have something specific that you do to get you back to just being focused on your family?
So when we go home, Ash's vest comes off her. She goes immediately to our sliding door. She rings our bell, and she goes outside and does the zoomies outside. So that's her way of decompressing when we get home from work. Usually I'm sitting there laughing, so that's kind of my way to decompress. But my wife works at home, so I get to be there with her and talk about how the last 2 days or 4 days was, if we haven't talked about it already. But first responders, they really go through like a 24-hour decompression physiologically that they don't realize. So usually that first day really is, you kind of veg out for the most part, and usually by the second day is when you start feeling normal. Um, your hormones are starting to level off. So usually the second day is usually when I feel best.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm just curious about that, but I imagine that is kind of the way that it is. Like
Yeah.
even if I mean, for me, even when if I work like 5 really hard days in a row, it's hard for me to decompress in a day, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
teach yoga.
you're sitting there listening to the radio system all day, especially for us, and you're always at that heightened level, like for 24 or 48 hours. You're always like pinging the red line, and then when you get home, that those cortisol levels try to level off, and then you're just kind of dumping everything, trying to bring yourself back down, even though you don't realize it. But that's what's happening on the inside. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, totally. Can you talk about specifically Hearts for Heroes USA? What is it about Hearts for Heroes USA as an organization and the leadership with the Martells that excite you about what's coming up in the future?
Yeah, what's really exciting is their plan. They want to put a dog in every fire station and every police station. It's a great goal, and I want to put a dog everywhere too. I want to have a dog on each shift at my fire station. I want to have somebody there all the time for all of our guys. And Shelly and Bruce, they support that mission of mine, and I support their mission to put dogs everywhere.
What is it about them as people that makes you want to be involved with them? I know like there's some people that I see them doing things, and I'm like, oh, who are they? You know, I kind of vet them, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. But like, you know, I see Shelly and Bruce, and I'm like, oh, there's something about them, at least that I see, that makes me want to be involved with them. What is it that you see about their leadership that encourages you to be a part of this and put your life on the line for this organization?
They're very passionate about this whole program, and they have been, and they've also lived the first responder side of it. Bruce is still a paramedic, working the grind. I don't know how he does it, going to school and everything like that too. But and then Shelly has been amazing to have this passion of having the dogs, going out and taking the dogs to fire stations and introduce this whole program, and really try to convince people that you can take a risk sometimes. Some fire stations are scared to take that risk, but it's really the benefit of the firefighters to take that risk, go out on a limb.
Can you expand on that a little bit more? Why it's beneficial for a firehouse, a chief, um, a city to get behind this organization? What is it going to do for them?
They're going to improve the firefighters' morale. It's not something that's necessarily tangible. You can't put a dollar sign next to it. Budgets are crunched for everybody right now, but this program was designed to put these dogs in fire stations, have them with the firefighters, and not affect the bottom line. Um, the guys will appreciate it. The guys are going to get the benefit of it, whether they realize it or not. They just may be excited to just have a dog and throw a ball for a dog. So, but that's a huge morale boost for all the first responders for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a cat person.
Yeah. How many people do you run into that are cat people that are like, wait a second, I'd rather have that scratchy tongue. Maybe that's a different branch of the paw platoon
We
placement.
actually had a cat at our fire station like 20 years ago. She
Yeah.
showed up, and one of the guys wanted to keep the cat, so she lived around the fire station, slept on everybody's bed, and like 5 years later, some random community member came to our pumpkin patch, and they saw the cat there, and they go, "Oh my gosh, that's my cat that I lost 5 years ago." And she ended up taking the cat back, but it was there for 5 years or so. Saved me from a bat, so I was happy.
Oh, well, I would be like, well, if the cat left you, then you ain't getting that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to come up with a new name for that program, but boy, let's stay focused, right, guys? Okay, we've got a lot of work to do. We got to stay focused. Yeah. The feline first responder. That's awesome. Let's see. I was going to ask you something. Just man, I got had the cat / squirrel moment. But oh yeah, let's talk about this. I think that you spoke to this the other day a little bit, but I want to get into it again. What is it going to take from community members to help support this organization so that we can get more dogs in more houses? And what is it going to take?
We need community members support financially, specifically. We would hugely appreciate coming out to our events. We do a lot of events in partnership with restaurants, and a portion of that money usually goes back to Hearts for Heroes. So that's a huge support from our communities. The other one is just financial donations. It's a grassroots organization, and it's all the money is raised from people giving donations. So communities can give both ways. And partnerships are huge too. If we can find people that would donate dog crates, that saves money, or people that would donate dog food, that would save money. Yeah, partnerships are huge for Hearts for Heroes. Our dog trainers, a lot of times they donate their time to train these dogs to bring them up. We have the handlers are donating huge amounts of their time. This is all free of charge to the departments. They're training the dogs on their off time. They're making sure they're taken care of in their off time. And then our community events that we do when we have fundraisers at restaurants, we figure everybody's got to eat, and it's an easy way for you to donate without donating. If you just come out and have dinner, a portion of that goes back to Hearts for Heroes. So if you see our flyers, come on out and eat or have a drink.
Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, I like that too. Everyone's got.
That's really true.
Yeah.
Something somebody else mentioned, I thought it was huge, like the importance of sharing this, like telling people about it, sharing the social media that comes out, talking about the gala when you went to it, talking about what you love about it. Like there's so much power in sharing something. I know with our studio, our most powerful, our best referral, well, our best business is one that is referred to us.
Yeah, it seems like everybody seems to know a police or a fireman out there. Every time I run into somebody, they go, "Oh, my cousin's a fireman down in wherever." But the word of mouth, sharing Hearts for Heroes with everybody is going to really help us expand. That's how I found out about it, was through social media. So if you see these videos or any videos that Hearts for Heroes has on their Instagram page or Facebook, share it with your first responders. Let's get the message out there that there can be help for people that don't know that they need it, or the people that do know that they need it. So let's share it with everybody.
I can think of 5 people right now that if I shared this with them, they would be totally on board, like, so maybe like share it with your family at the dinner table, how cool this is, because it is really it's a very unique organization that's doing great things for people. And I think that when we find something that we love and we share it, that's when we make the biggest difference. I mean, I like firsthand, it's been a pretty amazing experience getting to interview all you wonderful people, and I'm learning so much. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so unreal and great that I'm involved with it, and I love it, and I just want to keep sharing it with people, so.
Yeah, if you appreciate and understand what Hearts for Heroes is doing, we want to be able to share this with everybody. Share it with everybody you know. Share it with a dog person. Share it with a cat person. Share it with a bird person. We want to get the message out there about what we're doing. We're really excited to offer this to our first responders. So let's spread the word.
So good, man. I loved it. And I also like the bird comment. That's gonna, I mean, it's good and it's
Rick
engaging.
And
it's
fans
fun.
will appreciate that one.
So good. Okay.
So I just want to say for myself personally, thank you to everybody that supported Hearts for Heroes. Thanks to all of our trainers. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of our handlers. They put in so much time. So thank you for being a hero to our heroes.
My name is Bryan Ransdell. I'm the fire chief for Rescue Fire Protection District in Rescue, California.
How long have you been in the fire department, and what has your experience been like?
Been started in '86. So I've got 38 years in the fire service and been with Rescue for about 2 years now, year and a half, 2 years as an annuitant chief.
As an annuitant.
Yeah, so I retired and then came back. Couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, so I just came back. Keep doing what I know.
You got it. What is it that you like about being in the fire department and working in the service field like you do?
It's the people. So I actually had some other offers, but I love the people at Rescue Fire. So that's what drove me back to there. And one of the caveats of that, having good people that want to do the job for the right reasons, because society's changed, cultures have changed over the years. And, these guys have the old school traditional mentality. They're there to serve the public, the community, and each other. And Captain Jones is a great example of that, bringing Ash into the family. So, we're not only employees or work peers, but we're also a family. Truly, when I say that, that's what it is. We have our good days and bad days like every other family, but at the end of the day, we got each other's backs. So, and Ash is an extension of that love, if you will. So that's what really brought me back in, was the guys working there, for sure.
Well, let's talk about the addition of Ash to the family. What has it been like having Ash in the firehouse, and how have you seen that help the people that you're working with and yourself?
Yeah, it's absolutely a game changer for sure. Years ago when I first started in the fire service, we actually had Dalmatians like everybody did, but they weren't trained. They weren't under a program. They were kind of like strays, and we had a lot of issues. So that's kind of the negative connotation you'll get out there today as this program moves forward. Because people remember them old days of problems, but this is such an organized, disciplined program with such a great cause to help workers with the mental wellness and the just having that aspect of the dog there to help us when we're having a bad day. It makes a difference. Even a good day, good, bad, and different. Ash puts a smile on everybody's face every day we walk in the office. So the biggest thing I've seen since we've had her is really we brought her in for the internal customer, if you will, which is us, the firefighters, the staff, and to help out on a daily and just be part of the family and puts a smile on the face. He's got the dog. So, but the other cool aspect of it is the external customer, meaning the people we serve every day, and having that aspect of it. And she branches out a lot. Captain Jones takes her just not the only fire events, but she's been to funerals, school events, for the local schools. So she's been like pivotal in so many areas. And it gives us not only an opportunity to reach out more often to the community, but it also builds that community equity. She helps with that too, with Captain Jones hand in hand. So it's been huge. It's been a game changer for sure. And absolutely, everybody loves her. I mean, we get requests all the time. I get requests for Brett or Captain Jones all the time. So people call and just say, can they be there for this event, if you will. So she's definitely a part of the family. She's one of the troops. So she got her own badge, man. So we're excited about it every day. So every day I see her, she puts a smile on my face too. We have some good days, bad days, like I say, and the bad days, that's when she's key, very key. So yeah, she's great.
Now, I know you talked a little bit just about how she puts a smile on your face and whatnot. Can you talk about what it is about a dog in general that helps people relax and, like the external customer and the internal customer? What is it about, do you think it is about a dog, and why do you think it's so important to have dogs around in the field of work that you're in?
I think animals bring unconditional love, which humans, you never know what the agenda is. So an animal such as her has a sweet disposition. They're always happy to see you. They're always there, unconditionally. And I think that's what draws us as humans to the animal aspect of things. That's why we know we can trust them, I guess you could say, at the end of the day. Not to put a negative spin on it, but animals bring that comfort, and that's why so many of us have them, and those that don't have them want them, at the end of the day, whether it's a big cat or a little cat or a big dog, little dog, and it just, they're comforting in general. So I think, that transitions into what we do on a daily. So we know there's comfort there. With humans, you don't know what you're going to get. That agenda, what's the means to an end on that day? What you're going to be dealing with that person. Dogs are always happy. They don't come in cranky and moody. You know what I mean? So they make the difference, and they're great too with the kids. All those things. So it's having them having her as an animal. I think that definitely is a better than trying to. I've had firefighters pass away. You bring the human element into it. Preachers and those kind of things. You don't necessarily get a good response. You bring her in, everybody's got better. Nobody's going to turn them. So it definitely, it's different. It's a good thing.
It's awesome. Can you think of any specific story or incident in which having Ash around has made a difference for either the external community or the internal community within your department?
Yeah, we've had actually a lot of examples, but the ones I've witnessed have been like functions, if you will, like Easter egg functions, pancake breakfast, those kind of things. When she's around, everybody, if you want to know where Ash is, just follow the crowd, because she's, she brings that element, that happy element, if you will, into the scene. So we've also had requests for her to go to funerals, and Captain Jones has taken her to funerals, and the feedback I've gotten for that is huge, because she just calms everything down. You know what I mean? It kind of takes away for that split second for somebody. It resets them, if you will. You know what I mean? And that's really what we're looking for, is that in a positive way, that trigger reset, if you will. You know what I mean? With her, and she delivers every time.
How did you get to know Shelly Martell and Hearts for Heroes USA?
Well, Captain Jones came to me and basically said, "Hey, I've been looking at this program. We're going to get a dog." And he explained to me what the program was about, told me about Shelly. So we set up a meeting, we met, and the rest is history. I was a sucker before I met her, and then she's awesome. So, she sells a program on her own. Just her personality, her tenacity, I totally, I admire all what she's all about. So, and then the program itself, it speaks for itself, and it works for sure. It's a no-brainer. I know there's a lot of agencies out there that have hesitation based on what I was talking about earlier, past incidents, chiefs may have had whatever, but they need to get past it, because this is a game changer for any organization or agency. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good for the mental health for the employees for sure.
Yeah. Well, and Captain Jones and Shelley Martell and the Hearts for Heroes organization, yourself included, what is it that, I know you mentioned tenacity, but what would you say about the organization and the people that are involved that makes you want to be more involved in their cause?
It's what it's about. The mission behind it for sure. That's, for years, it was something nobody wanted to talk about. It's still kind of taboo to talk about wellness, mental wellness, especially in our job, because we got to have that bravado and we got to be tough and, and suck it up, kind of thing. But, we're getting more and more apt to talking about things and having tools in the toolbox, if you will, to address mental, illness or health and those kind of things and betterment. So, she's on the positive side, I call it, like prevention, if you will. You know what I mean? She's before things go bad, hopefully. You know what I mean? Help that, maybe help cause and effect of making things better and then if things are bad, she's there for that reason too. So, but overall, definitely the whole program itself, I was turned on by just, I did some research on it, met Shelley. Captain Jones, like I said, told me about it. I liked everything they were about. And it's an over needed program for sure, because it's something we're actually accepting. In our world, we don't accept a lot of things to come in, and I'm sure law enforcement's even harder to get things inside, started, because, there's a lot of cynicism and there's those kind of things. But at the end of the day, once you start seeing the program in place and what she'd done, I know we were kind of in the beginning of it, but she'd already had some placements and we saw those examples and they were awesome, so we were going to jump on. So we kind of did it rogue too. We didn't ask for board approval, so we just went and did it. And then I asked for forgiveness after the fact, because how you going to say no once she's in, right? And the board fell in love with her too. So it was good.
Yeah, really good. I just want to take a step back because I think it'd be interesting to hear your perspective being in the field for so long, since 1986, right? Yeah. How has the approach to mental health changed in the last 36 years in the fire department?
Yeah, when I started, I'll just say I had, you call it, the Vietnam vets raised me. And that was something that wasn't allowed or even talked about. You suck it up, you deal with it, and then you go home, and then, you deal with it on your own accord. No, you don't reach out. I would say as the generations have changed and cultures have changed, there's been more of an acceptance, if you will, for addressing mental health, those kind of things. Because we've always looked at physical health to a degree, but never the mental capacity of it. And I think society-wise, I think I've seen the soldiers from Vietnam and the soldiers from, see the PTSD they all went through, and then we were experiencing it too, but we weren't talking about it. It just more and more started talking about it. And, some probably individuals, over the years that I can think of that actually accepted it or would talk about it, like, gunnies, if you will, in my world at the time, that were chiefs, leadership out there. There started becoming more of an acceptance slowly. It's still not there though. We're still getting there. So, because everybody should have these dogs on every shift. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? And like Shelley and I were talking earlier, like dispatch would be a great place. Law enforcement's getting big into this. So, yeah, I think in all those public safety elements, these dogs are a great, tool in the box, if you will, to help address and help, make it a better, environment for us working on a daily, like I say, yeah. They're a go-to for that stress relief at times when you need it. Absolutely. It's a game changer having the capability of having an animal placed in your agency. But at the same time, I'd say have the courage to bring one in and not be worried about the ramifications and those kind of things. Because this is like I said, there's no loose ends really in this program. It's a very tight-knit program. It's very organized, it's specialized, and it works. I mean, I can say that we've had her for over a year and a half now, and it absolutely works. So if you're really about your employees, and to me, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You know, we always say we're there for life and property and the environment, which we are. That's the canned answer, right? But for me personally, in 38 years, it's about your employees. And if their heads aren't right, they're not going to deliver that golden service, that golden standard out there on the streets for you. So the bottom line is you have to have, tools in the toolbox, make sure your people are good. And that means mentally and physically. And I think this is one of the best tools you can have out there right now to keep, have the edge of keeping mental health and wellness, good in your organization. So I highly recommend it. Absolutely. And I say have the courage to go for it, try it, and don't hesitate, because you got people out there that need it. Even me.
Yeah, Bryan.
Times. We all do.
Yeah. I love what you're saying right there. I mean, it makes a huge impact on your employees, which makes a huge impact on the people that they're serving, which is everyone.
Absolutely.
And so as a community, people that are not in the fire service, as you call the external environment, that community,
yes.
what can that community, the external community, do to help support and to bring more awareness to Hearts for Heroes USA in your perspective?
They do well, for us, we're still kind of a small town department. So we still have a lot of community functions and outreach and like a pancake breakfast and things like that. And when she's there, the community gets to see her and visit her and see what we're all about and what she does. And that in itself, they see the proof, and what she's about. So everybody gets really excited about it. And that's why I say we keep getting more and more requests for it, whether it's Boy Scout events, like I say, school events, those kind of things. So you do grab a lot of community equity, and you ask about how to sell this thing. I'd say that's another one. If you're a chief out there and you want community equity, this is a great tool to have for that cause. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that just in an aspect of, you want brownie points with your community by just doing this. I'm saying do it for genuine good reasons, and that equity will come, so.
Yeah, a firehouse is a safe spot for people.
Yeah.
And right. I mean, I'm right in saying that, right? I know in our neighborhood, we walk by, they say hello to our kids. We go in, they show us the vehicles, all that stuff, yada, yada. I mean, it's a place, it's a safe space for somebody to come in.
And then to have somebody like Ash sitting there when your kids are there and it's just, it doubles the admiration, I guess you could say, for what we're doing.
Yeah, it doubles the admiration and like trust too, right? Absolutely. I mean, there's this level of trust, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great way to put it too, for sure.
First of all, I want to say thank you, but is there anything that you haven't said that you feel like you'd like to say or share about? It can be about mental health awareness. It can be about Hearts for Heroes USA, anything that you would like to share that you think is important for the community to know?
Yeah, I would just say, again, just to reiterate, to have the courage to look into this program, because if your employees are your number one objective and make sure they're good mentally and physically, this is one of the best tools in the toolbox you could have, is having one of these puppies and represent not only the district, but they're for your folks as well. So like you said, when you're going to the firehouse, you see that, you build that trust, there's that it's a good vibe all around. So definitely everything I said, man, pretty much is have the courage and move forward on. Don't be scared.
Yeah. Thank you. I really have enjoyed speaking with you. Where are you from originally?
California.
In the northern part, or where you are now?
Yeah, Sacramento area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, grew up here.
Seems to me. What's that?
I've been up here most of my life, so yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. And how's it been reintegrating back into it?
The fire service?
After taking a little bit of time
it was
off.
easy because I knew all the guys. I used to work with them in a neighboring agency, so I knew who they were, and I knew all about them pretty much. So it was like putting on a glove, riding a bike. It was easy, you know what I mean? Because we all knew each other. It wasn't like we had to do the sniff test. We knew who we were, and it was good. So, and they take good care of
Ash does the sniff test.
Yeah, she does
right?
the sniff test too. Absolutely. Yeah. She's a good judge of character too. Actually, that's one I left out. Sometimes she'll bark at things, and you're so she's a good watchdog too. I left that part out.
She's got intuitive sense.
Yeah, she's multi-talented.
Yeah.
So.
Something that interests me, like I've always been an athlete and, do a lot of yoga, but I also like coach a lot of youth and whatnot. And what interests me in your line of work, how do you prepare for the day? How do you mentally and physically get prepared for the day?
It starts the day before. You got to get the sleep, you got to get the water, you got to get mentally ready. You got to figure out who you're working with, because every day can be a new shift, if you will. So there's a lot of elements that go into it, but, and then it's more just, that mental preparation going in each day and just be ready for the long run, depending on how long you're going to work. Sometimes you can work 24 hours. Sometimes you can be on for 5 days straight. It just depends. Sometimes when we go on the campaign fires, it's 21 days. It can be that long. So it's more mental than physical at the end of the day. Again, this program fits that model,
Totally. Yeah. And then on the decompression side of it, when you come off of a, 48 hours or even a 5-day shift, like you're talking about, how do you decompress and shut it down?
Everybody has different ways of tackling that. For me, it was always a gym rat thing, but everybody has a different way of going about it. But definitely this program helps that as you walk out the door and you get to pet her. Now, Captain Jones gets to take her home and enjoy her the whole time. You know what I mean? So he gets the extra, but he also puts all the extra work in too. So, but it's, everybody has different ways of coping, and the things we try to do is, not make it drinking, not make it other things, that are bad. You got to try to stay healthy. So again, mental's first. You can't be physically strong if you're not mentally strong. So again, another key component to this program, being an asset that it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Really great.
No problem, buddy.
Virtual handshake, Chief.
Good to meet you, sir.
Pleasure to meet you too, sir. When I'm in town, I'd love to run into you sometime.
Sure.
Yep. Thanks again for checking out Play Hard and Love Big Radio, the official podcast of Spotted Dog Yoga and SUP, based out of Folsom, California. We've got an adventure and yoga retreat to Colorado in June of 2025. You should definitely come check it out so that you can renew and reconnect to what's really important in life. Thanks again for checking out this episode and for sharing it with your friends and your family. The more that you do that, the more we can make a difference with the episodes that we're creating. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next episode of Play Hard and Love Big Radio.